Today is the first day and first video of Study with Rules. Today's subject is Web Technologies and the topic is Introduction to PHP. In this video, we're gonna cover declaring variables and data types. So first of all, what is PHP? PHP is known as earlier personal home page, and nowadays it has to be changed hypertext preprocessor. It's nothing but it's changed its acronym status. And coming to the PHP, the first point is it's an embedded server-side scripting language for HTML system. And the next point is sometimes it acts as client-side server system for in JavaScript. And the next thing, there are two kinds of interpreters in this. One is standard one and one is canonical one. And the next step, we're gonna see what are the variables that are used in PHP. There are so many variables that we can be used in PHP. For example, there are some kind of rules that are used in PHP to declare variables. For example, the first point is it has to be stored with the dollar symbol. Every variable that you want to assign to an object or a letter or whatever it may be, you have to use the dollar. And the second point is it has to be stored with a letter or with an underscore or with an underscore letter. Either this three of one should be validated to execute a variable in PHP. And the other thing is the things that are used in variables, they should be only alphanumeric values. That means you can use alphanumeric values, nothing but alphabets and the numbers systems, or the extension part is you can use the underscore. And the next, this is the variables declarations. Those are the rules for variable declarations. Coming to the variables, there are local variables and global variables. In the local and global variables, there are few kinds of differences in local and global variables. For example, in local variable, you will start the PHP program and you'll declare the variable inside a function. Here you assign a function and you'll declare a variable inside a function. It is known as local variable. Whereas if you assign a variable outside a function and then next you'll assign a function, and this variable a is known as global variable. The simple difference is if you give a variable outside the function, it becomes a global variable. If you give a variable inside the function, it becomes a local variable. And these are the kinds of variables that are used in PHP. So coming to the data types, usually many of you don't know what is data types. The simple definition is data types is variables can store data in different kinds of types. For example, there's a data of 1. It can be stored in integer, it can be stored in float, it can be stored in double, and it can be stored in different kinds of things. The simple thing is we have to choose which kind of data type we have to use to store. First of all, there are different kinds of data types. We'll see. The first thing is string data type, and the second thing is integer data type, and the third one is float. Sometimes in PHP, float and double are same data types in some cases. And the fourth one is boolean. Sorry for the spelling mistakes. And the last one is array. Even for this, sorry. First of all, string is nothing but this string is nothing but it is a sequence of characters. For example, take the example of the string itself. String is a sequence of characters. It is string. It's a sequence of characters, right? In PHP, we use strings for different kinds of purposes, for declaring variables, for assigning different kinds of values to the variables. So the syntax is we have to use double quotes for the string, and this is the syntax for string in PHP. And coming to the integer, for obviously what is integer. It may be 1, 2, 3, anything which is non-decimal, it is known as integer, and the data type is int. As you know, for string it is str, and float Float is nothing but is a different kind of number which uses decimal points like 1.5, 1.6. This is the decimal point, right? Wherever we use the decimal point, it comes under the float data type. And coming to the boolean is nothing but is just true or false. For example, if age is less than 18, it's not major. For example, age is greater than 18, it's a major. It just shows the true or false. Array, as you know, array is nothing but it's storing multiple values in a single variable. For example, let us see a program php, and the first line is php, and the second line is we have to declare a variable, and we'll declare a variable car, and we'll assign an array, and the data type is array itself we can use array. So I'll give the first value a and comma second value b, and I have to close the blind. And if I bring the argument like variable underscore dump, and for what variable I have to dump, it is $car, and I have to close it, and I have to close the PHP program, and that's it. And here we can see the thing is we are assigning car variable, and we are assigning a variable for car, an array of a comma b, which is a of 0 is a of 1 is b, and 0th location it is first location. For variable dump is nothing but it shows what kind of a variable it is. For example, first of all, if we declare dump, it asks for which variable it has to be dumped. For example, I have dumped a car, and the car is in data type of array, and now it shows the output will be array because it dumps what kind of data type is this variable using. This variable is here, and it is using the array variable, and sorry, it's not array variable, it's array data type. It used the array data type, so the output will be the array. So this is the array, and we'll see so many data types in upcoming things. For example, we'll see about the strings. We'll see the string data type. String, for example, we have to open PHP program, and then next we have to declare echo. Echo is nothing but it's a print, it prints the values whatever we have declared. Str is the key point data type we are using here. Str length, it is known as strlen. And then next we have to declare what kind of string we have to find out for the length, and we have declared h, and we have closed the statement, and we have closed the program. Now what is the program does is it finds of the string length. Here what is the string? The string is the h. It finds of the length. What is the length of h? Of course it's 1, and the output will be the 1. If we type here hello, and the string length would be 1 2 3 4 5, and string length would be 5, the output would be 5. So whatever you are putting the input, and it finds the length of the string, and it shows the output. And these are the declaring variables and the data types. Once we go back and see all the things whatever we have done, first of all, there are in PHP, it is nothing but it used to be as personal homepage in the earlier, but nowadays it is called as hypertext preprocessor, and it is an embedded version of XHTML, and sometimes majorly it acts as a server-side scripting language, but sometimes it acts as client-side, but only in JavaScript. And then next, the third point is sometimes it can be used as interpreter, and there are two kinds of interpreters. One is standard interpreter and one is canonical interpreter. Interpreter is nothing but you may assume like compiler, as I cannot say compiler, but you can reach up to compiler. And the thing is variables, what kind of variables and what are the rules that are used to be followed to assign a variable. First of all, it has to be started with a dollar, and it has to start with a letter or underscore with a letter. And the next, the only thing we can use is alphanumeric values. It is nothing but alphabets or numerical values, and because it is PHP, we can use an underscore, and it is not a case sensitive program. First of all, in variables there are two kinds of variables. One is local and another one is global, which we declare inside a function is known as local, and which we give outside the function, it is known as global. And the next, data types. There are so many data types, but for us we can assume few data types. The string data type, which is known as used to double quotes. Strings are nothing but character names, John, Abraham, those are all strings. Integer is nothing but, as you know, integers are nothing but numbers, but without a decimal points, which is nothing but 0.5, 2.5, 3.5. And the next, float is nothing but which uses the decimal numbers like 1.5, 1.2, 1.3. Boolean is nothing but a true or false. And the next, array is it stores a group of elements with similar activities, similar kinds of elements. For example, car, there are cars with color A and B, we can store as array A comma B. And if by using this kind of statement, we can we can get the output what kind of data type is using this kind of program, and we'll get that thing. So this is the uses of array. And the string is nothing but, as I said, it's a name of names, whatever it may be. Even string itself is a string because it is a character sequence of characters. And for there are few types of data types: string length, string reverse, and many more data types, and we can use it in many ways. So today's topic is declaring variables and data types. In the next topic, we'll see arrays, strings, and operators in PHP. Thank you.